Good morning student. I Kishore Singh Chauhan welcome you all in social science class. In today's class I am going to teach you the first chapter of class 8 from geography stream, and the title of this chapter is resources. Before we continue this chapter, I would like to tell you what are the subtopics that we are going to discuss in this chapter. So we will begin this chapter with the definition of resource. After that, we will discuss what are the factors that can change an object into resource. Then we will discuss all types of resources in detail. After that, we will discuss the important methods or steps to conserve these resources, and we will conclude this chapter by discussing some important principles of sustainable development. So let's begin with the first subtopic, that is definition of resource. Look, I have a pencil in my hand, okay, and this pencil can be used to write, okay. So writing is my need, and this pencil going to fulfill my need. So on the basis of this example, we can say very clearly that anything that can be used to satisfy a need is a resource. Anything. For example, now I am using my mobile phone. Okay, you also use different things when you study, like your textbook, notebook. So all those things are to satisfy needs. So all those things are resources. Okay. Now we are going to discuss that what are the factors that can change an object into a resource. So first important factor, utility. Utility means usability. Okay, utility or usability is what makes an object or substance a resource. Again, with example of pencil. This pencil has utility for me. Okay, because of its utility, this pencil is a resource for me. So this is first important factor which can make a substance or object into resource. Second important factor is value. Value means worth. Okay, so all the resources have some value, and how they get this value? Because of their usability or because of their utility. Again, with the same example, look, this pencil is having usability and utility for me, and because of this usability and utility, it has value. So second important factor is value, which can make or change any object or substance into resource. Some resources have, you can say, economic value, and some do not have, but if they fulfill our needs, so both the substance are called resource. Now two other important factors which can make or change a substance or object into resource, and these are two important factor, time, okay, and second important thing, technology. So in conclusion, we can say we have four important factors. First is utility, second is value, third is your time, and last is technology. Now if we talk about the available resources, so on in the all available resources, human beings means we are the most important resource, means we are the ultimate resource. Why? Because we have brain, developed brain, we have that skill, we have that capability that can convert any substance into resource. Okay, for example, water. Okay, we are the only who knows that by using the flow of flowing water, okay, force of flowing water, we can generate a kind of power that is called hydroelectricity. So human being is the ultimate resource on this planet, because of ideas, because of knowledge, because of invention, because of the discovery, we prove that yes, we are the ultimate and important resource. Clear? Now after this we are going to discuss types of resources. So let's begin with types of resources. Resources are generally classified into three important categories. First is natural resources, second is human made resources, and third is human resources. So let's begin with natural resources. So what is natural resources? Resources that are drawn or obtained from nature and we use to fulfill our needs without much modification. Modification means without much changes. Okay, so these types of resources are called natural resources. For example, the air we breathe, the water from rivers, lakes that we use for drinking, irrigation and different purposes, then soils, minerals. So all these things come under the category of natural resources. Now these natural resources are classified into different groups, okay, and these different groups depend on the level of development, second thing use, third origin, origin means source, fourth stock, and the last is distribution. So now we will discuss in detail about these natural resources category. So we will begin with on the basis of their development and use. So on the basis of development and use, resources can be classified into two more categories. First is actual resource and second is potential. Actual and potential both are okay different from each other. How? Look, what is actual resource? Actual resource means those resources whose quantity is known to us. We know the quantity, how much we have, okay. So this types of resources, their quantity is known and these resources we are using in present time also. For example, we are using different minerals, coal, fossil fuels, okay. So these come in the category of actual resources. Now potential resources. Potential resources are just opposite of actual resources. Means the resources whose entire quantity may be not known, okay, and maybe those are not being used. Reason may be, okay, suppose we don't have that kind of technology, and or maybe these resources could be used in future. So these types of resources are called potential resources. Example, that in Ladakh, which is situated in the north of our country, okay. So in Ladakh we have uranium, and that uranium is the good example of potential resources. Right now we are not using that resources available in Ladakh, but could be used in future. Reason may be technology or other. So this is the example of potential resources, and these are the differences between actual and potential resources. Now we are going to discuss the second important base on which resources classified, and that is origin. Origin means source, from which source we are obtaining the resources, okay. And the basis, on the basis of origin we have two categories. First is biotic and second is abiotic. Abiotic resources means all non-living thing, okay, or non-living things come in this category, and biotic is just opposite of abiotic, means all living things. All living things that use as resources are called biotic resources. So in abiotic we have soils, rocks, okay, and minerals, and in biotic we have plants, animals, okay. So this is the difference between biotic and abiotic on the basis of origin. Now we are going to discuss natural resources and their category, okay, and these categories are renewable and non-renewable. So renewable resources means resources which can be renewed or replenished quickly. Look here, the important thing, quickly means these are the resources which can be replenished or which can be renewed in a short period of time. So those resources are called renewable resources. Clear? Now if we talk about non-renewable, non-renewable is just opposite of renewable, okay. So non-renewable resources are those which have, first of all, limited stock, okay. Once the stocks are exhausted, means finished, it may take thousands of years. Look, this is the important difference. In renewable, replenished and renewed quickly, but here replenished and you can say renewed, it take thousands of years. Okay, and that is the reason that we have these two category, renewable and non-renewable resources. Now here I would like to mention some of the resources like coal, fossil fuels, okay, water also, okay. Now the next category, which is based on origin. Origin means source. In this we have two types of resources. First is biotic and second is abiotic. In these resources there is only one major difference, where biotic resources are living, okay, and abiotic resources are non-living. For example, soils, rocks, minerals, they are the example of abiotic because they are not living, where plants, animals, they are the example of biotic, they are living. Now the next category is renewable and non-renewable type of resources. Renewable resources are those resources which get renewed or replenished quickly. Now look, the word quickly is very important for difference between renewable and non-renewable. Some of these resources are unlimited. Okay, if we talk about renewable, their quantity is unlimited and they are not affected by even human activities. Okay, examples are very clear like solar, wind energy. Okay, so these types of resources come under category of renewable. Okay, now if we talk about non-renewable, so non-renewable are just opposite of renewable. Non-renewable resources are those which have a limited stock. First thing, limited stock. Once the stocks are exhausted, means finished, it may take thousands of years, where renewable, they replenished and renewed quickly, but here it takes thousands of years to be renewed or replenished. Okay, and this period is much more, okay, than human lifespans. So that's why they called non-renewable resources. In this we have good example like coal, petroleum, natural gas. So these are the differences between renewable and non-renewable. Now we are going to discuss the last category of types of resources on the basis of distribution. Okay, and there are two categories. First is ubiquitous and second is localized. Now what is the major difference between these resources? Okay, so the major differences between these resources are that resources which are available or found everywhere, like air we breathe. Okay, so this is a good example of ubiquitous resources. Okay, and if we talk about resources which are available in some specific area, like if we talk about copper, iron, so these are called, okay, localized resources. Okay, now the distribution of all these natural resources depends upon number of physical factors, and these factors, terrain, climate, altitude. So on the factors, we don't have distribution of all these resources same on this planet Earth. It is completely unequal. Okay, now we will continue with the next subtopic. Okay, after discussing types of resources, now we are going to discuss the next subtopic, conserving resources. Look children, we are using all these resources for our development and to fulfill our needs. So obviously it is our duty to protect them, to conserve them, because without these resources we can't think of our development and even we can't think of our survival on this planet. So this is our duty. Generally what we think, that all these resources are free gift. So that is very wrong thinking. Okay, we should protect them, we should conserve them. So there are several methods, several ways in which we can conserve. Okay, first and important thing, that we should start using them in a very careful way. We should use resources carefully, we should not waste them, and also we give them time to renewed or replenished. So when we use resources carefully and we give them time to replenish and renew, so this is called resource conservation. Clear? Now there are some method, and very important method, that is called sustainable development. Now what is sustainable development? Sustainable development means carefully utilizing resources. Means we are not saying that to stop the use of all these resources. No, we should continue to use all these resources, but that use in a careful way. Okay, so that beside meeting the requirement of the present means to us, we also take care for future generation. Means we should use all these present resources in such a careful way that we can fulfill our needs, and we can also keep in our mind the need of coming generation. Means we should also try to think about some alternate available, you can say, options also. Then the next, that is very much, you can say, popular, and you know very well, 3 R's. Okay, reducing, recycling, and using. Okay, so many of you are practicing also. So that is also the method to conserve all these resources. Okay, so being as human, being as, you can say, good human, this is our duty to conserve all these resources. So from today we should start conserving these resources. Okay, now we are going to conclude this chapter with some principles of sustainable development. Sustainable development we discuss means we should use all the resources carefully, okay, by keeping in our mind the needs of future generation. Okay, so what are the some important principles we need to follow? First, an important principle, that is respect and care for all forms of life. Whatever forms of life we are having, we should respect and take care. This is first important principle we need to follow. Second, improve the quality of human life. Quality of human life. Okay, third is conserve or protect the earth's vitality and diversity. Whatever we have on earth in different forms, so that is our duty to protect them, to conserve them. The next is minimize the depletion of natural resources. Means we should not waste them, we should use them in a such careful manner that there will be no depletion to all these natural resources. Then the next principle, that is very very important, change personal attitude and practice towards the environment. Generally we think that all these are free gifts. No, so these types of attitude we should change. We should respect, we should conserve. Okay, that's why we can survive on this planet. And the last important principle of sustainable development is enable communities to care for their own environments. We should make awareness in our community, in our society, so they start doing conservation of all these available resources and environment. So this is all about this chapter. Okay, I hope this chapter is very much clear. Okay, we completed this chapter. We discussed that what is resource, then we discussed what are the important factors of that can change substance or an object into resource. Then we discuss all types of resources, then what are the methods of conservation, and last, principles of sustainable development. So that is for today. Thank you, have a nice day.